Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel once again. My name is Abajo Nkechinyere. If you're new to this channel, you're welcome, and if you're returning subscriber, hi. So guys, this is a continuation of the previous video I posted. Just in case you've not seen it, you can refer back to see the cutting of this video. So let's go straight. Without further much ado, let's go straight to what we have for today. So I'm going to be cutting this dress. You can see that I've already placed it in a bias form, so I'm just going to be cutting it. Now, to get the desired shape and length of the dress you want, you have to cut it in a bias form. In this bias form cutting, it makes the hem of the dress to flow, to look very nice at the end. So at the hem, you can see that the pattern paper I used wasn't enough, so I just had to measure what I have at the hem of the pattern paper and mark it at the end of the dress, that after getting the desired length of the dress I want. So at that hem, you can also decide that you want to make it an A-line, or you can decide to make it fish. So I'm just going to from the pattern, I'm just going to place the exact mark there. You can see that I left allowance at the beginning of the pattern and at the side too, just because I don't want it to be, I want it to be free. I don't want it to be tight on my client. So guys, moving on to cutting the back, you can see me doing the same thing I did for the front. I'm just going to, whatever the hem of the dress gives me, I'm just going to place it at the length of the desired dress length I want, and I'm just going to mark it. I'm marking the top because I don't want it to shift and I want to get it accurately. So that is basically what I did there, and I'm going to be cutting it out now. Okay guys, moving on to the top cutting. You can see, if you had seen the previous video of the cutting, you'd see that we made the cut from the underbust. So that is practically where the top part of the dress ends, and the other skirt part of the dress started from the underbust too. So now I just placed the pattern on a material, and I'm going to be cutting this I'm going to cut in two pieces, but one piece first is going to be smaller, and the other piece I could either slash and spread it or cut it in a bigger form. So for the other part of the underbust cut, you can see how big I folded the material. Like I said, I'm going to be making it look like a gather. So this first one I cut is going to act as the lining, while this last one I'm cutting is going to be the main fabric, and I'm going to gather it to give this design. So guys, moving on to the sewing, I've gone ahead to cut out straps, and I cut as many as I could and I joined them together. So this is a strap that is going to be going at the back of the dress. Make yours however long you want it to be. You want it to be very long so it can give you the fitting after joining the straps. It can give you the fitting you want at the back. So now I'm just going to sew the straps and turn the inside out. So guys, this is a quick tip on how I turn my straps inside out. So I take a needle and a thread, and I run a stitch. You can see me running a stitch. I run a stitch like 2 or 3 times. Then I'll take the bottom or the head, that place that is not sharp from the needle. I'll dip it inside the strap, and then I'll drag it inside. I'll just be pulling it. But though this dress is so silky, so it was a bit difficult for me. It was a difficult one, but for normal dresses, for normal materials, it's very, very easy. So I'm going to be placing my dart measurement at the back of the dress. I'm using 5-inch length. So the width is 1 inch, of course. You just have to measure half inch for both sides and place it at that 5 inches. So you already know how to get your bust span. That's the difference between one nipple to the other. After placing my dart, I'm going to be cutting a facing. Because of the back of the dress, it started from the waist, so I'm going to be cutting a facing that will cover up the rough edges. So I'm just randomly, I'm not making a standard measurement here, I'm just randomly placing it and just cutting the length of what I want, and just desired width. So just cut it and place it. So after stitching the facing on the material, trim off the excesses, and you know how to do the facing. You just top stitch, that's the thing, so you can relax. So I'm just trimming off the excesses there. Then I'll make a notch. Always remember to make a notch. After making the notch, I'm going to place it on the right side and top stitch. So this will make the facing to relax, so it's not coming out of the dress. And of course, make sure to iron the facing properly. Make sure to iron your dress as you also sew. So moving on to the dress stitching, I'm going to place the two back piece material on each other, and I'm probably going to mark out where I want the zipper to end. You can see that. So wherever I want the zipper to end, if I want it to end on the hip line, or maybe above the hip line or below the hip line, I'll mark it. I'm just going to pin these two dresses together. After pinning it together, I'm going to mark out where I want the zipper to end, and from there I can now stitch all the way from where I marked to the bottom of the dress, that's to the hem of the dress. Because this dress is so slippery, guys, I really found it difficult. This is the light Duchess, so it's very slippery. So guys, I'm going to be making a gather stitch on the longest part of the fabric I cut for the front. You know, I made it two-piece, and then in that two-piece I made one to be bigger. So that one I made to be bigger is going to be serving as the main fabric, while the shorter one is going to be serving as a lining. So now I'm going to be gathering the longer part of the piece I cut. So you can see me making a gather stitch. Depending on your machine, you know how to manipulate your gather. So I made the gather on the top and the bottom part of the top. That's the top of it and the under bust of it. So that's the top and the bottom part of the under bust cut. So that's the design I'm working with. So whatever design you're doing, you know better how to achieve that. So this is the design I'm working with. Is a top. I'm gathering the top and I'm gathering the bottom before I'm now joining to the skirt pattern or the skirt part of the dress. So after achieving the desired gather I want, now having it in mind that I'm going to should I say compress, or should I say reduce the gather till it gets to the shape of the shorter piece I cut before, you know. So that's exactly how the gather will be. So I'm going to now have to stretch it till it gets to the shorter piece of the dress, because that's the right measurement of the dress I'm making. So once I gather it, I'm going to now use this as a lining. I'm going to use it to turn the rough edges of the dress out. So after turning the top part of the dress with its lining, you can see this is how it looks like. So what I'm going to do basically is to just top stitch, and remember not to turn the down part also. It's just the top part, so to cover the rough edges. Then the other down part of it, you're going to join into the skirt pattern. So remember to only join the top part, not the bottom part also. So now I'm going to, you can see, I'm going to now join these two parts, the two rough edges, to the skirt part of the dress. So after joining the top part to the skirt part, you can see how neatly finished it's looking already. So what I'm going to basically do now is to now join the two materials together. To join the front and the back together, you can see the opening of the zipper. Like I said, just create your zipper opening and join the rest. So what I'm going to do now is to match where the back started. Remember, the back started from the waist, so I'm going to make sure it aligns. I'm going to place it at the waist and pin it all the way from the waist to the hem, and do the same for the side. And I'm basically going to run a stitch. So guys, for the sleeve, depending on your preference on how you want your sleeve to turn out, for me, I'm doing a puffy sleeve. That's a big sleeve. So what I'm basically doing is just randomly, from the materials remaining, I'm just randomly going to measure the one I have and make sure it's enough. So from what I got is about 20 inches on full, that is 40 inches. I'm lucky enough it was enough. So what I'm just going to basically do is to place it the way I just placed it, and I'm going to measure the armhole and cut it at the extreme end, because I'm going to gather the hand. That's why it's a puff. I'm going to put an elastic So what I'm going to do is to mark 1 inch for the elastic casing, so I can fold it in and put elastic so it gathers, because I'm going to be using elastic for this. So I'm marking 1 inch all around the sleeve fabric. I'm going to, it's 2-piece, so I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. The top and the bottom of the sleeve will be gathered. So that's what I'm basically doing now. So I basically cut out a facing that I will use to attach the loops of the straps. You get the loops that will carry the straps. So that's what I basically cut out, and I'm going to just place it there. So at the same time, you can still cover the rough edge of the front piece. Remember, the back didn't start where the front started. The back started at the waist side, so there's going to be rough edges at the back. So now I'm going to also attach a loop there that is going to hold the straps, you get. So now I'm going to, like, the straps, I've already cut it into pieces. I'll be needing 8 pieces. That's 4 for one side and 4 for the other side of the back. So now with the straps I cut, I'm just going to fold it. You can see me folded it in now, and I'll place it where I want it to be. So after holding the loops in place, go ahead and top stitch to make it be last. You can see, so all those rough edges, I'm going to weave them later. So you can see right now the loops are rightly placed, and that is how it should look when you're done with yours. So now I'm going to go ahead to attach the sleeves. You can, at this point, you can attach any sleeve of your choice. I'm doing a balloon sleeve, a puff sleeve, so just go ahead and attach your sleeve. So for the elastic case, I've made already for the sleeves, and the elastics I'm going to be attaching, I'm using 1/2 inch elastic, and for the top part of the sleeve I'm using 10 inch, and for the down part I'm using 8 inch. The fabric is like 40, so by the time I gather it with the elastic, by the time I put the elastic inside, it will now come down to 8 or 10. That's for the bottom 8, for the top 10. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. So I've gone ahead to attach my sleeves. You can see how beautiful and neatly finished it's looking ready. Make sure to attach yours and make it, and weave all the parts that necessary. Now I'm going to attach my zipper. I'm going to be doing that off the camera, and I'm going to weave the sides and make it very neat and give it a neat finishing. Make sure to give yours a neat finish, iron when necessary, and also attach your zipper neatly. So guys, give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please click the subscribe button, like, share, comment, and if you have a question, please drop it at the comment section and I'll get to you. See you on my next video. Bye bye.